So Sydney Sweeney has a political problem, and it's not really her fault. A little bit, but not really entirely. So we have this whole controversy about the American Eagle jeans ad, and it found its way to Fox News, and they were talking about it, and now all of a sudden there's Sydney Sweeney fans, which is weird. And then now President Trump got into it, and he recently posted how if Sydney Sweeney was a Republican, her jeans ads is the hottest thing out there. No, the most fantastic ad out there. And he was saying how Taylor Swift is not hot anymore because she's woke, all this stuff. He's full Trump, right? Here's the thing. The Guardian recently said that they did some research and they found out that Sydney Sweeney registered as a Republican back in the 2024 election. Now, we don't know who she voted for. She could have been registered a Republican and voted for Kamala. She could have been a Republican and voted for Trump. We don't know who she voted for. And I don't think she'll say who she voted for. The issue comes now when they put that out there, now people are taking sides. So if you're a Gen Z woman and you're liberal and you like Sydney from Euphoria and some of her other projects and you supported her, now since you found out she's a Republican, first you see the jean ad and someone will feel like the jean ad is over-sexualized and anything like that. Now you're hearing that she's a Republican, and now you're wondering if she's MAGA or she's a hard conservative, because nowadays people see Republicans as hard right or MAGA. Where, to be honest, I think most Republicans are actually moderates. Kids, once upon a time, there were a group of people called moderate Republicans. And they were the most, probably in the 70s, 80s, and maybe all the way up to like 94, they kind of made up most of Congress. It was moderate Republicans. And they were liberal on some things and conservative on other things. And I think when people say that I'm a conservative, but I'm physically conservative, but I'm socially liberal, that's a real thing. And I think most people are like that. But unfortunately, when Newt Gingrich and that crew came in with the Contract of America, and then Rush Limbaugh on the radio, things were starting to be pushed hard right. It started to be pushed hard right by Reagan. But then Newt got in, and Rush was on the radio, and it kind of really started moving hard right. And now we got full MAGA, even though that thing seems to be shifting back a bit. But when it went full MAGA, so now when people say I'm a Republican, or they say, oh, this person's a Republican, they think they're hard right. But in reality, they could be a moderate. So now Sydney Sweeney has liberal Gen Z female fans who look at her as like, we don't know who you are, because we didn't know this stuff about you, even though there was some talk about her parents being Republican or conservative before. So there's that side of it. The other side are conservatives who didn't know who Sydney Sweeney was before the American Eagle ads, because they just watched nothing but Fox News. So now she got this new fan base who's hardcore right, and they think, oh my God, she's queen of all MAGAs. Like, we love her. She's beautiful. She's sexy. Like, man, we love her. It was weird. They keep on posting these pictures of Sydney Sweeney being very sexy and all that stuff. It's like, oh, the liberals going to hate this. Bro, we've been watching Sydney Sweeney for years. I'm not even a fan of Euphoria. I've been seeing Sydney Sweeney's pics for years, man. It's like, oh, the liberals going to hate these pictures. Dude, we've been watching her for years. Where have you been? So now you got these hardcore conservatives, and now, because she's filming Euphoria right now, when Euphoria comes back, they're going to watch Euphoria. But then a lot of them's going to hate Euphoria because they're going to hate the messages or the storylines that's in the show. I don't know what they think Sydney Sweeney is, but I think they feel like she's a hardcore conservative actress as well. So when they go start watching season 1, 2, and then 3 of Euphoria, they're gonna start complaining, oh, this show's too woke. Oh, what is all this stuff? I can't show my kids this stuff. This is disgusting. It's like, dude, this is who she is. This is the projects that she made. She never said that she was hard right. And that's the thing. Sydney Sweeney has not said anything, and she shouldn't. But I think she should. I think she needs to sit down with Teen Vogue and just tell her story. Or sit down with somebody that she trusts that's going to get a lot of clicks and tell her story. And let's say she is hardcore conservative. I think she probably should put it out there. Or if which I think she's probably more moderate, I think she should tell that story. And you might get some Gen Z folks or millennials who still might look at her a little bit differently. But if they understand the fact, oh, okay, well, she's conservative when it comes to money, but she stands up for these issues, I understand it. Okay, I get it. They may still not like the American Eagle ads, but they understand where she kind of sits politically. And I think Sydney needs to do this Because let's say MAGA, the hard right, the conservatives feel like that she's queen of all conservatives, right? Because she's hot. What if Sydney one day says, oh yeah, I grew up listening to NPR. We need to do funding for NPR. Oh yeah, man, one of my dreams was to be on Sesame Street. I don't know why you would get rid of Big Bird and Sesame Street. These people over here on the right way lose their damn minds. Because they already put her on a pedestal. Say, what do you mean? I thought you were conservative. Yeah, conservative people still watch PBS and Sesame Street. See, that's the thing. When you're a little kid, you don't start off being conservative. You just watch Sesame Street because you love Big Bird or Elmo. All that conservative crap and all that stuff, that comes later. But what if she says that? What if she says, hey, I believe a woman's right to choose? These guys will lose their minds. So if I'm Sydney Sweeney, go finish Euphoria. But when it comes time to do some interviews, sit down with Teen Vogue, sit down with Colbert, sit down with somebody to kind of tell your story. All this from a Gene ad. Like when I first thought about that Gene ad, I thought the biggest thing was going to be, I felt like, man, this is like a throwback to those commercials from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. Was like very sexually tinged. It's like, oh, okay. And I felt like some women are not going to like this because they don't think things should be sexy anymore. But no, this thing is far worse because somehow it crossed over to Fox News. I think they did that because all the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, because they was looking for stuff to kind of push Epstein out of the way, and they couldn't find anything. And now this American Genes ad thing came up with all the Nazism and propaganda, all that stuff, allegedly, which I don't really see. Because we can have a discussion about eugenics, especially eugenics that happen to black women in this country, and it's completely horrible. Look that up, how they sterilized black women in the South and across the country back in the 50s and the 60s. It's horrific. But that's a whole different discussion about eugenics. But yeah, so if I'm Sydney Sweeney, I'm sitting down, I'm telling my story. Because I don't think she wants this. And to be honest, she's been kind of tight-lipped about this stuff anyway. I think in the past when they talked about her parents being conservative, she kind of danced around it. Because I don't think she wanted to alienate everybody. But now we're here. All this from a Jeans ad. Welcome to America.